So I had a lot of people asking me about how to oil my shells. So I'm outside, it's a little windy, and I apologize for that, but here's some of my shells that came out of the bleach bucket, and I'm going to take I use this oil paintbrush, and I just dip it right in my mineral oil. And I'll show you the name of it. It just says Tropic Sun Better Living Mineral Oil for hair and skin. So I just dip my brush in there, and you can see the tulip. The colors come out quite amazing. Here's a queen conch, just a little baby juvenile. We have a hawkwing. So they basically go back to looking like how they looked when they were wet. And I'm sorry, it's hard to do this with one hand, but it makes a huge difference on the color. I don't always dip them in muriatic acid because I think if you do that a lot of times, the real color leaves. So I don't always do that unless there's something that can really be transformed in the shell. And so for me, that's not very often. Here's a really yucky looking hawkwing, and what I'm going to do with that is let the oil sit, and then those little pieces of white barnacles or debris will come off easy once they get soft. I love the inside. I think it's this one. The color inside was just gorgeous. You can see what a difference that makes compared to that. So I'm going to go do all of these. Here's another tulip, like a nice reddish brown color. And some queens that are the rollers. It takes that white right off of there. Some people actually dip their shell into the oil. I don't do that because I really don't have the space for that, and I don't really find a need for it, but I know that there's been some really nice results from it. Look how much prettier that looks. So I let it sit overnight. I had done this cowrie already. There's a spot right there that I'm concerned with, so I had already put the oil on it, and then I'm going to use one of my tools after it softens, and I kind of like this one. It's like a little painter's, it's straight, like a little file, and I use the flat side, and I use it to remove any extra debris that's on the shell. So I would use it for this hawkwing and try to get some of that white off. And so I'm going to do that with it once it gets nice and saturated to make it look better. And my last one that I'm going to do here is this light colored queen. It looked like it was white first. There's a little piece of the skin still on it. That is not the shell, that's just the periostracum that they use, or that the shell uses as a protective coating when it's alive. It will peel off. You don't need to keep it onto the shell. And it usually peels off in the bleach water, but I find that once the shell dries, it peels off quite easily if there's still any remaining. And you can see it brings out the original colors on the shell. So I'm going to let these sit for the day. Maybe this evening I'll come back, or tomorrow, and I will take a paper towel and kind of buff off the extra, because it shouldn't be too tacky, but it might be a little bit gummy to touch, and you don't want that sitting on your shelf when you have a nice shell display. So you just want to buff off whatever's remaining, and then you can add it to your display, and it should be a nice color like how you found it, instead of being the white chalky looking. And I'm going to come back with this one. You guys are going to see how pretty that's going to look after I take all the white off. Let me see if I can do that. You can see it's coming right off after it's gotten damp, the white. So that will just come off, and then probably more oil afterwards underneath, so underneath looks good. And I don't want to actually damage the shell, so I'm just going to be real careful going around all the bumps and crevices, but clean it up, get the white off, and eventually it will have the nice brown color underneath, and then I'll be able to display that one quite well. You can see this is coming off really easily, and the brown is still underneath, the color of the shell, and nothing's been damaged. So put a little more oil on this part so you can see. And that will need me to come back and scrape it some more also, but it's getting there. So let me know if you have any questions about oiling. I might do another one on dipping, but I don't have any shells right now that really need it. So next time I find some that do, I will try to do one on acid dipping. But right now, all you need is the mineral oil, and that's the only one that I recommend, because other oils, especially food grade oils, will go rancid over time sitting on your shelf, and you don't want that with your shells. So try to stick to the mineral. I've even been using the Armorall color sealer, and I haven't noticed if it's doing a great job or not, but we'll see, fingers crossed, if the shells haven't faded. On the ones that I tried it on, I haven't really noticed a big difference compared to the mineral oil yet though, so I will keep you posted. Stay tuned. Bye.